Welcome to this exploration of one of the most fascinating phenomena in quantum physics, quantum tunneling. This is a process where particles can pass through barriers that would be completely impossible to cross according to the laws of classical physics. Imagine being able to walk through a solid wall. That's essentially what particles do at the quantum level. In this video, we'll discover how nature allows particles to appear on the other side of energy barriers, defying our everyday intuition about how the physical world works. To understand quantum tunneling, we first need to appreciate how dramatically different quantum particles behave compared to classical objects. In the classical world, if you throw a ball at a wall and the ball doesn't have enough energy to break through, it simply bounces back. The ball cannot pass through the wall. However, in the quantum world, something remarkable happens. A quantum particle, like an electron, can actually appear on the other side of a barrier even when it doesn't have enough energy to overcome it. This is not about the particle going over or around the barrier. The particle literally passes through the barrier itself. This is one of the most counterintuitive aspects of quantum mechanics. Let's visualize what we call the barrier problem. Imagine a particle approaching a region where there's a potential energy barrier. We can represent this on a graph where the vertical axis shows energy and the horizontal axis shows position. The barrier is shown as a raised region with a certain height, which we call V sub 0. Now, the particle has its own energy, which we call E in classical physics. If the particle's energy E is less than the barrier height V sub 0, the particle would be reflected back. It wouldn't be able to enter the barrier region at all. But quantum mechanics tells us a very different story. The particle can actually penetrate this barrier and potentially appear on the other side. To understand how tunneling works, we need to think about particles as waves. In quantum mechanics, every particle is described by something called a wave function, represented by the Greek letter psi. This wave function behaves differently in the three regions of our problem. In region 1, before the barrier, the wave function oscillates like a normal wave, described mathematically as psi proportional to e to the power of ikx inside the barrier. In region 2, something interesting happens. The wave function doesn't abruptly drop to 0. Instead, it decays exponentially, described as psi proportional to e to the power of negative kappa x. This means the wave function penetrates into the barrier, getting smaller and smaller as it goes deeper. Finally, in region 3, on the other side of the barrier, if the barrier isn't too wide, the wave function can emerge again as an oscillating wave. This continuing wave function on the other side means there's a probability of finding the particle there. Here's the key insight of quantum tunneling. Even when a particle has energy E less than the barrier height V sub 0, there is still a non-zero probability that the particle will appear on the other side. This is the tunneling phenomenon. Think of it as a particle with a quantum passport that allows it to pass through barriers. The reason this happens is because the wave function doesn't respect classical boundaries. It doesn't stop at the barrier. Instead, it penetrates into the forbidden region and decays exponentially. If the barrier is thin enough, the wave function still has some amplitude on the other side, which means there's a probability of detecting the particle there. The particle hasn't climbed over the barrier or drilled through it. From a quantum perspective, it has tunneled through it. The probability of quantum tunneling isn't constant. It depends on three critical factors. First is the barrier width. The thinner the barrier, the higher the probability of tunneling. If you decrease the width, you increase the tunneling probability. Second is the barrier height. Lower barriers are easier to tunnel through. When you decrease the height of the barrier, the tunneling probability increases. Third is the particle's energy. Particles with higher energy have a better chance of tunneling through barriers. When you increase the particle's energy, the tunneling probability goes up. Understanding these relationships is crucial for predicting when and how often tunneling will occur in different physical situations. We can quantify the probability of tunneling using what's called the transmission coefficient, represented by the letter T for a simple rectangular barrier. This transmission probability can be approximated by a beautiful mathematical expression. T is approximately equal to e to the power of negative 2 kappa L. Let's break this down. T is the transmission coefficient, which tells us the probability that a particle will successfully tunnel through. Kappa is the decay constant inside the barrier, which depends on the particle's mass and how much energy it lacks to overcome the barrier. L is the width of the barrier. The exponential decay factor, e to the power of negative 2 kappa L, shows us that the transmission probability decreases exponentially as the barrier gets wider. This exponential dependence means that even small changes in barrier width can dramatically affect the tunneling probability. Quantum tunneling isn't just a theoretical curiosity. It has profound implications and applications throughout physics and technology. In nuclear physics, alpha decay occurs when alpha particles tunnel out of atomic nuclei, allowing radioactive elements to decay. One of the most important technological applications is the scanning tunneling microscope, which uses the tunneling of electrons between a sharp tip and a surface to create images of individual atoms. Flash memory in your computers and smartphones relies on electrons tunneling through insulating barriers to store data. Perhaps most remarkably, quantum tunneling enables nuclear fusion in stars. Protons in the cores of stars like our Sun don't have enough energy to overcome their mutual electrical repulsion classically, but they can tunnel through the Coulomb barrier, allowing fusion reactions that power the stars and create the elements necessary for life. Let's summarize the essential points about quantum tunneling. First, particles at the quantum level behave as waves that can penetrate barriers that would be impenetrable in classical physics. Second, the wave function doesn't stop at a barrier. Instead, it decays exponentially inside the barrier, allowing for the possibility of transmission. Third, the tunneling probability depends critically on three factors: the barrier width, the barrier height, and the particle's energy. Smaller widths, lower heights, and higher energies all increase the probability of tunneling. Finally, quantum tunneling is essential for understanding nuclear physics, modern electronics, and advanced microscopy techniques. This phenomenon reminds us that at the quantum scale, nature operates by rules that seem impossible from our everyday experience. In quantum mechanics, the impossible becomes possible, and particles routinely accomplish what classical physics forbids.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.